Rolling. All right, at this time, we will call this meeting to order, and I will ask you all to silence any cell phones or electronic devices that you have at this time. And Scott, we go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Penny,
Here.
Commissioner Curry,
Here.
Commissioner Danio,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson, Mayor Villa.
Here. At this time, I will ask you all to stand for the invocation and continue standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today to pray for guidance. Dear God, we thank you for allowing us to do the work of the people up here. Dear God, we pray tonight for Commissioner Johnson, that he is healed and okay. Dear God, we pray for those people that serve our community, our law enforcement, all of our first responders, dear God. Be with them and protect them. And in Jesus' heavenly name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, Commissioner?
Would you accept a motion to excuse Commissioner Johnson since he just was released from the hospital an hour ago?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have the mover, Vice Mayor Penny, to excuse Commissioner Johnson from the meeting tonight, and a second from Commissioner Penny. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this motion? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now we're going to move to the public hearings, our budget and millage rate. This is the first reading. Please silence any cell phone, pager, or noise-making device as to not interrupt the meeting. Staff will introduce each item for consideration with comments and recommendations. The applicant or appellant and supporters will be heard first. Those in opposition to the request will be heard next. Comments should be restricted to pertinent information regarding the agenda item under discussion. Out of courtesy to others, we ask that speakers keep their comments brief and try to limit these comments to information not previously discussed. Speakers should state their name and address clearly for the record. The city clerk's office is required to retain any documents, photographs, drawings, etc., that are shown to the city commissioners in support of a position. The city commission may ask questions of speakers or of staff members. The mayor will then ask the city commission to make a recommendation or a motion. Once a motion has been made and seconded, discussion will be closed to the floor. Following the city commission discussion, a vote will be taken. During voting, commissioners who do not cast objecting votes are considered to have voted in support of the motion. With that, Resolution 2020-R-40. Mr. Simpson.
Resolution 2020-R-40. I need to read this resolution in its entirety. Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Volusia County, Florida, adopting the tentative levying of an ad valorem taxes for the City of Holly Hill for the fiscal year 2020-2021, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Whereas the City of Holly Hill of Volusia County, Florida, on September 9, 2020, adopted a fiscal year 2020-2021 tentative millage rate following a public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065. And whereas the City of Holly Hill of Volusia County, Florida, held a public hearing as required by Florida Statutes 200.065. And whereas the gross taxable value for operating purposes not exempt from taxation has been certified by Volusia County Property Appraiser to the City of Holly Hill at $770,177,324. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Florida, Section 1, the FY 2020, fiscal year 2020-2021 operating millage is 6.25 mils, which is greater than the rollback rate of 5.9014 mils by 5.91%. Section 2, the final public hearing will be September 22nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. The rest is just standard boilerplate language.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Mr. Forte, do you have anything to add further?
No, not really. I mentioned to you that there were The revenues that came in from the state revenue sharing was a little bit more, so what we did with those monies is we didn't take money out of the reserve fund to balance the budget for the capital projects. We used that toward the capital projects, so to keep the millage the same.
Thank you, Mr. Forte. Are there any questions for staff? Yes, Mr. Penny.
Scott, what day did you say the second reading was?
It's the 22nd. That's not right.
It says no, September 22nd, 2020 on here.
It's not right.
That's not
No,
right.
it's the 21st,
That's not right.
I thought
Hold on.
I thought it was the 22nd.
Monday, the 21st.
Yeah,
No,
that might be
Tuesday.
yeah.
No,
Meeting is on Tuesday, the 22nd.
I
No,
thought it was the
Monday.
22nd. It does say on my calendar though
I thought
21st.
we had to move it to the first because
No, we-
another-
Originally, we had it.
No, never mind. It doesn't say that.
conflicted with the county.
Yeah. Normally,
just the
you only
first.
have to move a meeting that is in conflict with the county and the school board. Our second meeting is not in conflict with the county and the school board, so it will remain on Tuesday, the 22nd.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good catch.
It was originally-
Almost.
It was
It was
originally.
originally
It was
moved to
originally-
Monday, but seeing that the county no longer meets on a Tuesday, they meet on a Thursday, and the school board doesn't meet that night, so we're good for having ours on the 22nd.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions? With that, we will open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to the millage rate tonight? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. And being that we have discussed this at length, I will entertain a motion.
motion to approve the millage rate as stated by Mr. Simpson at 6.25 mils.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Curry, a second by Vice Mayor Penny. Is there any discussion needed?
I think we've discussed it quite lengthy.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Opposed. Motion carries 3-1. Now moving to second resolution, 2020-R-41. Mr. Simpson.
Resolution 2020-R-41 by title only for first reading. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Volusia County, Florida, adopting the tentative budget for the City of Holly Hill for the fiscal year 2020-2021 and providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Anything further to add, Mr. Forte?
Nothing more than I haven't already said.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? At this time, we'll open this up to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this item tonight? Seeing none, we'll close public participation, and I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion needed?
I think we've discussed this at length as well. So,
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Now moving down to our public comments. This is the public's opportunity to address the City Commission about anything not on our regular agenda tonight. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to the commission? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, Tony Casada, 7 Echowood, Ormond Beach, Florida. I wanted to come before the commission tonight. We have a car show scheduled to go off Halloween, October 31st, 2020 of this year. I'm getting a lot of people in the community, in the city, county, that are saying, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, I'm asking you, as the mayor, commissioners, city manager, chief of police, what are your feelings?
For
Feel safe doing it?
car show on October 31st? Yeah, what we'll do, Tony, is if there's anyone else that wants to speak to public comment, we're going to do that, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it as a
Okay.
commission.
We'll do it this at the end of the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually have that and several others to discuss at the end.
on your item. Are you going to stay the whole meeting?
Yeah, I
It
can.
should be
It
short.
won't be long.
We're not
Okay.
going to be here all night.
No.
Thanks, guys
Thanks, Tony.
and ladies.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to the commission about anything not on our regular agenda tonight? Seeing none, I'll close public comments, and we will move to approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 28th Budget Workshop, July 28th City Commission meeting, and August 11th goal setting, and budget discussion.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Danio and a second from Commissioner Curry. I almost said Penny.
I know.
Get you guys confused. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to the minutes tonight? Is that a sign?
No.
Just your microphone?
Yeah.
With that, I'll close public comment, and any discussion needed, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Now we're moving to the consent agenda, items 1 through 5. The action proposed is stated for each item on the consent agenda. Unless the city commissioner removes an item from the consent agenda, no discussion on individual items will occur, and a single motion will approve all items. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on any item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll close public participation, and I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No discussion is needed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Now moving to our regular agenda, auditor selection. Mr. Forte?
I'm going to actually let Stella come up and explain this, but we went through the audit process, and the audit committee made a recommendation of the top 3 ranking firms. We turned those RFPs over to the city commission, and it's now up to the city commission to make a final decision. I'll let Stella go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what the process was.
Thank you, Stella.
Stella Gurnay, Finance Director. The City Commission appointed, as required by statute, an audit committee that were made up of the Vice Mayor, Finance Director from another city, and 2 of our business people here in Holly Hill. The audit committee then established the factors as required by state law for the evaluation of audit services, directed the request for proposal and the publication of that request, and then evaluated the firms based on what was in the request for proposal, and then ranked and recommended no fewer than 3 firms. We had 5 firms submit, and the evaluation criteria was broken out into experience and expertise for 50 points, audit approach for 20 points, fee proposal for 25 points, and local vendor preference for 5 points. No one qualified for the local vendor preference by our purchasing resolution, and the committee ranked the top 3 firms as James Moore and Company first, CRI, which is Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, second, and McDermott and Davis. I would just also mention, like the Vice Mayor has mentioned before, that the committee was very close in their rankings with the top 2 firms. 3 of the members picked one firm as the top firm, and 1 member picked the other firm, and then it flip-flopped. So we have followed, the state guidelines and the RFP, and the committee is recommending to you that James Moore and Company be given the award for the RFP.
Thank you very much, Stella. Before you go, are there any other questions for Stella while she's up here? Any questions for any staff? All right, thank you, Stella.
Thanks.
All right, I do see an applicant, at least one, is in the room, and so at this time, we'll open up public comment and allow the applicants to go first if you want to add anything or say anything. Would anybody like to do that? Yes, sir. And just state your name and address and who you work for the record.
James Halloran with James Moore and Company. Live in Port Orange, 8 Golf Villa, Port Orange. Just like to thank you guys for the opportunity. We hope to be doing your audit. I'll leave it at that.
Great. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to the commission tonight? Seeing none, we'll close public participation, and I'll entertain a motion for approval as recommended by staff.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Would you like to have any discussion, Vice Mayor? I know you.
No,
were
it
on
was,
that.
on the selection committee, it was clear, in my opinion, that the numbers, the way they were ranked, were close, but it was clear that James Moore was the best firm for our city at this time.
Yeah, I had no objection to those findings as well. Commissioner?
I have nothing.
Okay.
I just want to thank the vice mayor for putting in all the hard work, as I started looking through it, and I could tell it was involved, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
There were two more packages you guys didn't even get to see.
well, thank you, Vice Mayor, for voluntold. I think you're voluntold, not tiered. And thank the staff as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor of approving the auditor selection to be James and Moore Company?
James
is
Moore
that-
and Company.
And Company. Signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have no public hearings tonight, so we'll move to communications. Mr. Forte, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, I've got several things to discuss. First, the Chamber of Commerce notified us that they are not going to move forward with the trunk or treat event this year. They polled their membership, and there was very, very little response. I think maybe only 4 or 5 people responded in the positive.
Wow.
And that's all they had, so they've decided to not host or participate with the trunk or treat event. There are other events that are coming up. One is Mr. Casada is here, and he brought up the car show in October, which is the weekend of before Halloween. So that's one that I need direction from the commission on. I also heard from Pat and Pam, who do the art festival, and they're requesting their Holly Hill Art Festival in April of 2021. So that's several months away, and God willing, this virus will have taken a back seat by that time. And then there's the Chamber Breakfast on October 21st, which the Chamber is recommending a split in-person and Zoom-type Chamber Breakfast meeting to be held at Sika Hall, where we would have a small number of people present that would still maintain social distancing and wearing a mask while not eating breakfast, and others that want to participate would be on the Zoom call. And then, of course, you already made a decision for the lighting ceremony and parade to move forward with that at this time. To my knowledge, I know that Port Orange has canceled their lighting ceremony and parade. Several cities have canceled all their events through the first of the year. I don't think Daytona Beach is issuing Biketoberfest permits, although that doesn't necessarily stop people from coming. They're just not issuing permits.
They're voting on that tonight. Have you heard if they've
That's what I thought.
approved or?
I do
I
not.
think Ormond is too.
I do not know what
Okay.
their results are. So I need to get your direction as to what we're going to do and either allow these folks to move forward or have them stand down, but we need to make the public aware as well.
Right. All right. So we should probably take them one by one, unless anyone has an overarching.
Well, we know that the trunk or treat is canceled. The next one we have coming up is the car show.
And
Also
when
in
is, what's the
October.
date on that? 31st. Oh, it is on Halloween. Okay. So if anyone has any thoughts on it, I, for one, am okay with having it. It's kind of been my stance all along about personal responsibility, and I do like the numbers that are coming back, especially as of late in regards to COVID-19 and the trends that we're seeing. So I don't see a reason why I would want to cancel it, but alas, we are a commission. So he raised his hand first.
Oh, okay.
Vice Mayor.
You know, I try to follow the numbers, and unfortunately, I don't know what numbers to believe. But I was very concerned when I saw a recent study that attributes Sturgis 2 weeks ago to over 250,000 infections. There's a study done that mapped people's proximity based on their cell phones. Not that 250,000 people who were at Sturgis were infected, but they went back, and the result of that was they infected 2 people, and they infected 2 people, and now it's billions of dollars economic impact of those people being infected. So I just have to, I hate to be a wet blanket, but I have to err on the side of caution that I'm just not comfortable having large gatherings. I would go so far as to say I'm not comfortable having large gatherings till the spring of next year.
And with the Sturgis, I read something today too that there's another study that says the opposite, that they can't actually link it, and that there's a lot of problems with the way that they tracked it through people's cell phone and where you could have been.
And that's
or
why I say
who
I
you
don't know
could've-
what to believe.
Right,
And
I know what you're saying.
if I
know.
don't know what to believe, I have to err on the side of caution.
Right, I fully understand.
That's how I feel.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Curry?
And as much as I hate the idea of canceling our events, I guess it comes down to being responsible, because we are responsible for our community and the citizens and the business owners, and I just feel like, that being said, a personal choice of mine, I've got an event this weekend, a craft show, but I have to take personal responsibility for that. But as an elected official, I just feel like I have to look at all the stats, the numbers that we're getting, and I just don't feel comfortable with having those mass gatherings right now either.
Okay. Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
mean, my public opinion is much different than my private, because privately, I'm going to the craft show. I'm just going to be careful.
Vice Mayor, you had
Well,
something more?
what I failed to mention was that, I'm not in favor of a city-sponsored event. I think if an individual wants to come forward and they want to pull a permit and have a special event on their own, then that goes back to their choice, their responsibility, not the city's choice and not the city's responsibility.
Good clarification.
I don't know if that's possible.
And
But-
I
but-
could go for the
But if
same.
people want to have special events and want to rent a park for the
Right.
weekend for little or no cost, then let it happen, but don't put our logo on it. Just let it
Right.
be.
Well, and let's jump into that point right now, because that's what I was going to bring up. Is in particular, I don't know what Daytona and Ormond are going to do for special permits for Biketoberfest, but for me, my position would be is I would want to allow the special event permits to take place in Holly Hill, but it's not city sponsored, to your point. But for me, these people that are having that are some of the most hurt during this economy, and I want to
agree.
allow them every tool that they can have. And at the end of the day, I still believe in personal responsibility, and people need to do what they think is best for their health instead of government make them do it.
Right.
That's just my stance. I know that some may disagree, but that is where I'm at it. So when we talk about Biketoberfest, would you be
I'm fine with
willing?
that. I'm fine with Biketoberfest. I'm
Okay.
fine with the car show. I'm struggling with putting the city stamp on it, and I don't know if
And
these
promoting
events,
it.
I don't know if we could promote it,
Okay.
but it's just not a city event.
Right.
If I want to have a big 60th birthday party at one of our parks, then I have a 60th birthday party and I invite 500 of my best friends and we gather the way we want to gather. This government's not going to tell me what to do. So I don't see some of these special events being any different. I just don't know if it's financially feasible because it's been a partnership and I just don't know if that's possible.
Yeah. No, great points.
I feel the same way. If the individual wants to get permits and during Biketoberfest, if we want to issue special event permits, I'm okay with that, just as long as it's not
Not city sponsored.
city sponsored.
Okay. Commissioner Danio?
Well, I warned you guys about Sturgis. I knew that was coming. And I would believe what you heard on the first side. I don't think we have a choice. I mean, we pulled the plug on the chief and the National Night Out, blew out their candle, and we kind of seemed like we were all in the same mindset that we weren't going to do anything city-sponsored until the first of the year or better, particularly in the spring. So, my stance is the same. As much as I'd like to see things moving right along, I just don't think it's responsible for us.
But are you opposed to letting someone do it on their own? Let's just say Mr. Hanger wants to bring in a dyno like he's done. I don't think he's going to, but he wants to bring in a dyno and he wants to try to sell motorcycle trailers they're coming. The motorcycle people are coming.
Yeah, they're-
Yeah.
We're not gonna stop them.
Right.
I just worry, we really don't have any city events during Biketoberfest.
Right.
We don't have a parade, we just issue special permits.
Right.
Kind of on the fence on that. I don't know if, I'm just afraid of the backlash of City Holly Hill at the end of the chain of events of being responsible indirectly or directly.
Well, everybody blames government for everything anyways. So, these people, like John, to John's point, they're going to be here.
Oh, I
And
agree.
so they're going to go into bars, they're going to do that. But Hanger, let's use Hanger as another example, not saying he's going to do anything, but he can sell more trailers if he has something to draw people there. Bars are going to get their people no matter what, but some of these other places.
We're not going to find that out till Thursday, I thought.
What?
The bars.
Well, a lot of bars are actually operating because they're now
Yeah, but
operating as
spot-
restaurants,
yeah.
and so they're open and they're going to be coming. So they're here whether we like it or not, and I think we allow that opportunity for a business to be able to use that to their advantage if that's their choice, and that's on them. I just think government get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And if you look at Biketoberfest, it's socially distanced anyways. If you look at a car show, it's pretty much socially distanced anyways. You have to stay at least 3 feet away from the cars anyways, so.
And it's outside.
But this, and if I brought up Sturgis, but it's not fair to compare us to Sturgis because the most successful special event we would have 1/100th of the attendance that Sturgis would have over a 2-week period. But the bigger concern is the tree lighting and the Christmas parade. Those are the ones, I am most uncomfortable with the Christmas parade.
Right.
Tree lighting, the only people that are gonna come here are the parents and the grandparents of the kids out there singing and dancing, realistically. But that parade, there's no way people are gonna social distance, and the parade really scares me. The other events, not so much.
Before I go to you, Commissioner Curry, South Daytona brought up a good idea when I was on the phone with them at our mayor's call last week, and they threw out the idea of what they're looking at is a drive-by parade, and it sounds funny at first, but I hate to cancel the longest-standing Christmas parade in Volusia County, and I hate to cancel Christmas whatsoever. I think people need that spirit more now than ever have before. And so if you do it that way, and if we have stations where people are set up, bands are set up, and we have, and I don't know where we could do it yet, but the idea
reverse
is,
it?
right, and so people drive by and you go 5 miles an hour and you get to see everything and do that. A lot of the people that are in this are the dancers, are the band members, the kids that every year I was in the parade. I was in several parades, and it was like the best day of the year. And these kids have lost so much from sports to everything else. This could be a good thing for them to do. We could require that all the participants wear masks, since if they're going to be close. But if they're in a band and they're practicing anyways, they're already doing that on a normal basis anyways. So I would be in favor of that. I don't know how the rest of you all feel, and it would take some logistics and some finagling to do it, but it would allow us an opportunity to keep the parade going, through.
We'd have to reverse
Engineer,
reverse.
reverse it, right?
Right.
Right. And we don't need to have an answer tonight, by
Right.
the way. I mean, we can dwell on it.
No, I mean, and no one wants to be the mayor that canceled Christmas.
That's the truth.
But they canceled the Olympics. I mean, let's think about it. So the Olympics has been postponed for a whole year, and they said it's going off.
Finally coming.
It's going off
back.
next year, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm all in favor of letting these things happen. I just worry about the damn attorneys suing us when they figure out that we were the hot spot, and we're on Dan Newland's billboard. That's what worries me, is that we could have mitigated damages and we caused harm.
Yeah. All right, Commissioner Curry has waited more patiently than she's ever done in any meeting. So
That's
now you
right.
have the floor.
Thank you. As we said earlier, I don't have a problem with someone that wants to take an event and do that event personally. Like my show that's coming up weekend, they have required us to have masks ourselves, required us to have hand sanitizer, and they distance our booths. And I think if someone wanted to come in and do an event or what have you that was not city-sponsored, they could require the same thing and highly recommend mask, because that's what they're doing with this show. But I just do not want to be the sponsor. It's over in DeLand.
Where are you talking about, though?
Where am I talking about what?
City property? Or a
If
private
somebody
property?
wants to rent,
How does that
Sunrise
work?
Park.
Mr. Simpson, how does that work if, let's say, somebody ponied up whatever it was, cost, and they wanted to rent city property, are we still liable?
They're always
We
going to
don't-
sue us.
We don't actually really know who, any government being liable for how they react or don't react to COVID and allowing things to go on. So that, I can't say we're liable. Can't say we're not going to be liable, because that's all.
I mean, that's
in the
kind
air
of
right
our
now.
biggest concern, right?
That's what
In fact,
attorneys,
first
attorneys
our
live
biggest concern
for.
is a health issue, I would think.
Attorneys,
really
attorneys live for things to defend us for.
Yeah.
Well, let me, I'm going to throw another wrench in this whole thing, because pickleball is putting on their tournament
Right.
on October 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
but it's not city-sponsored.
It's city property.
I was just gonna say.
Well, yeah.
And as your conversation is going on and you're talking about city property, I need to make sure you're aware that pickleball is, in fact, they have 420 players signed up for their tournament that they are coordinating, they are organizing, that they are doing.
But for the record, they haven't asked the city to do that. They haven't asked this commission to approve or disapprove that. It's,
Well, we kind of
it's-
gave them a management agreement to
Right, they have-
operate the whole facility, so
right.
they don't have
Right,
to.
so they have the ability to do it just as, well, actually, a business would have to come in and actually get a special event permit. So that's even more asking of the city than the tournament would be, correct?
I just feel, I feel as though that if we're out of the picture as far as sponsoring an event, I don't have heartburn with that. But I do have heartburn, as much as I hate to even think about it. The tree lighting ceremony, there's a lot of people that stand around shoulder to shoulder, and I don't know that it can be done any other way. And the Christmas parade, for goodness sakes, the streets, we've all made comments about it, have just gotten more crowded further north than what they ever were. The last 2 or 3 years, it's been huge crowds. And I have fear over that, because I guarantee you a large majority of them are not going to sit through a Christmas parade with a mask on. And there's so many kids, it's bad enough for them at school, but to say, hey, come out and, do your thing with band or whatever group it is, you're still putting those kids right on top of one another to perform. And I have fears over that. So I do not believe for the rest of this year we should have any city-sponsored events.
Vice Mayor?
Can I ask Mr. Casada, can I bring him up?
Yeah, actually, I was
I was
gonna
gonna
do
say,
that.
what's his feeling, right?
I was gonna do that. in-
Tony, can you pull this off without financial support from the city this year?
Or
Joe,
do you want to?
hold on a minute. Sure, I'd love to,
Okay.
okay? No, I really don't want to.
Well, that's-
But I really feel that I owe it to those kids at those 2 schools. Okay, I don't care, I'll just pull money out of my pocket. But Joe, last year, the permit was made in my corporation's name. I pulled the permit. The city didn't pull the permit.
Well, trying to decipher this conversation is a little difficult, because when they say the city not sponsored, does that then mean my law enforcement is not involved?
Right.
My custodians are not involved? You know, what does that mean? Not putting your seal on something is one thing, but when you're still having it on the city's property, and
We use the city property,
we're using city staff,
city staff.
so are you saying if Tony wants to do it, he's on his own?
No, well, let me ask you, is the city going to provide special law enforcement detail for the tournament across the street next month?
We are going to assist with them because they're going to be crossing the road. So we'll have 2 police officers that are assigned to traffic control over there.
Are those overtime employees?
They
Or are
were
they coming
planned
off?
to be scheduled, not necessarily overtime.
I think we should just provide the same level of service. And my hesitation is, you know, we put our seal on it and it's sponsored by us and we roll it out there and we get sued. Then the guy on my other shoulder is going, man.
Right, that's the issue.
These people, they got to do something. They're going crazy. You know, they're mental.
Tony, have you polled your previous participants to see what their level of interest is?
Yeah. These people are, you know, I brought Mark here, and Mark's a local businessman who owns a computer. He can tell you about his business, but he is, you started the Subaru Club, Daytona Subaru Club, a few years back, and now he started the Florida Subaru Club. And the Florida Subaru Club was started for people moving from out of state into Daytona, into the Florida area, and it's like, he's got like 800 people. They want to get out. New Smyrna and Palm Coast, and Palm Coast doesn't even know what's going on up there. The city doesn't care. They're letting it run rampant. D-Land.
Except they closed their city hall.
What's that?
Except they closed their city hall.
Yeah, right. D-Land, they're tough over there. New Smyrna shut them down for, I'm going to say about 4 months. It doesn't make a difference to me whether we have this car show or not. We've been doing it for a long time, 4 years, 5 years.
I just
have
think that
been-
if we're going to do it, if we're not going to do it, we don't leave Tony hanging
We
halfway.
don't do it, yeah.
If we are going to do it, then we do it all.
You know, I called my insurance company today, I buy insurance to do the event, to satisfy the city, and I says, let me ask you a question. She said, no problem. We'll write you whatever you want. How are the rates compared to last year? No problem. There's only one thing. On that contract and on that insurance policy, and John's an insurance man, they're hands-free virus. They're
Yeah.
right there. You sign it.
COVID.
You know, now let's talk about, they went to Sturgis. 200,000 people got infected. Now, did 200,000 people get infected in Sturgis or on the way back at the truck stop where they stopped to get gas and coffee? You know, we don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. It could be right here. I could be touching it now and taking it home. We don't know where it's coming from. But, you know, I don't want to do anything to hurt this city or to hurt my name. If it consists of, you know, we put it off for this year, that's what we got to do. If we want, you know, move it to the park, which I hate to do that, you know, but it's, you know, there's our lawyer, Scott. You know, he's a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be an insurance salesman, and I damn sure don't want to be a mayor or a commissioner or city manager or chief of police. So, you know, you guys.
How about an accountant?
Yeah, we have some.
Hey, I'm on a
accountants
pizza
in the
man.
room.
Let us know.
Tony, what's the feedback on your guys on your end? I mean,
They want somewhere to go.
everybody wants to do it. Nobody's hesitant. Nobody's kind of spooked about this.
Spooked about it?
I mean, you know, your people
If
that
they're
have come
spooked,
in.
yeah, some of my friends, customers, whatever, are spooked about it. They don't go out.
Right.
Are they spooked when they go to Walmart? Are they spooked when they go to Publix? Are they spooked when they come to Sorrento's? Don't go.
Yeah, but I mean, this is something that they got to kind of commit to, and will the
They
participation
can show
level
up.
be there?
They don't have to commit to anything. They can show up the day of the
No, but I
pay the
mean, will
show.
they? I mean, is it going to be where we're worried about whether we should or shouldn't, and all of a sudden you find out that there's not a good response on your end when you start polling
So
these people?
we have a barbecue. We cook some hamburgers and hot dogs, drink some Coke, lemonade, and everybody enjoys themselves for the day.
Yes, Vice Mayor?
If we talk long enough, we talk ourselves right back into a full circle.
Yep.
Yep.
So as I hear myself replaying what I said out loud, the event that scares me the most are what is 100% city-sponsored event, which is the tree lighting and the Christmas parade. Not because they're city-sponsored, because
There are
of the proximity. You can't socially distance. And I think of, my gut reaction was, don't have anything to do with the car show. Then if we have nothing, if we leave Tony hanging and he does it on his own, and it doesn't succeed because we didn't help him, we get the black eye anyways. Holly Hill had the crappiest car show ever. And what he said was he pulled the permit. It wasn't a city-sponsored event. His company pulled the permit.
Right, but then
It just
Joe-
happens to be on our property.
Somebody brought up
Right,
the police.
Right.
The guys that put the garbage cans
Right.
out, the tables. A good lawyer gets a hold of it, well, I'll pay for the police, I'll pay for the maintenance guy to put tables out. Who put the banner up?
yeah, they're gonna sue us anyways.
You
So-
know, they're gonna sue us. Now, they're gonna start with me, and they're gonna keep going. All right, Scott?
They'll probably start with the city.
Start with the city, okay. Well, it's a round table, so,
But-
we haven't hurt anybody in 5 years, 4 years, however long it's been. Everybody's had a good time, it's come. You guys, it just made me feel great for all you commissioners to come to that car show, see those people, this is great. And now we're sitting here saying, boy, do we tell these people to do it or not do it? This shoulder and that shoulder,
No.
y'all are right. I'm worried about it.
So, I think the events that have been done well in the past, the car show and the art show, I believe have put a positive spin on the city of Holly Hill. They've been done well, they've been done professionally, and it went a long way to improving our image. So I know we probably still have a little bit of time on this Christmas tree thing, but it's coming up pretty darn soon. But
Well, let's take this car issue. Is anyone
I'm
opposed?
okay with it. I'm
Is
okay
anyone
with
opposed to helping it and supporting it as we have done in the past? All right. Thank you, Tony.
That it?
The one thing I would ask is, do y'all want to do more in terms of promoting wearing masks, putting out hand sanitizer stations?
I know someone that makes those things.
Well, I'm just saying, do
We'll
you,
put out hand sanitizer stations.
We're gonna
that's not a
say
problem.
yes.
And we can also put out signs that say the same thing that the sign at both, well, I don't know about the front, but the back end of City Hall, it says recommended.
Right.
or strongly recommended?
You know, I have breakfast every morning with a group of 8 of us at Einstein's in Ormond, and 2 of them are school teachers. One's at DBCC, the other one's at,
You still call it DBCC?
excuse me, that shows how old I am.
He calls it shop class too.
The teacher from Mainland saying they're having a problem with these. The first couple days were fine. Now it's, put your mask on, put your mask on. That's what it's going to be about all year long, is keeping their mask on. So, the people that are worried about it, honestly, and there are some car people,
They're not gonna come.
my wife's terrified of it.
And she won't come.
Terrified.
So is mine. She's a teacher
Hey,
too.
if I get it, I get it. But, I keep hand sanitizer in my truck. I keep a mask. If they tell me to wear a mask, I put it on. Anyway, commissioners, chief of police, Scott, Joe, you guys worked really hard on this. You guys did a great job for the last 4 or 5 years. I appreciate everything you've done for us. It's, it's your decision. I'll go either way. I don't care.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thank you.
I think we just said it's okay.
Yeah, we did.
You said it's okay?
So don't sell past the sale.
Right.
Sit
Don't
down.
what?
Don't sell past the sale. Sit down. First rule of sales. All right. Joe, I don't know if you need it in a vote, but there's obviously consensus here to move forward with with this show in particular. And I would go further to any non-city sponsored, as we talked about, events. Let's really quickly talk Biketoberfest, and we can change our mind or talk about it again at our next meeting. But my stance would be to allow businesses to come in and get a special events permit. Is there anyone opposed to that or would like to add to that?
Really,
I'm
you're
curious to see
really,
what the Ormond Daytona does.
you're really running out of time because
No,
these people that you're going to allow or not allow have to plan for it, and they've
Right.
got to, I don't want to push it off more and more and then say, well, don't do anything, we'll make a decision in 2 more weeks, and then
Right.
it's too late to advertise.
So let's make the
or it's too
decision
late-
right now.
Yeah, and I
So,
know there's this, we keep using the word city sponsor, and as Joe mentioned, that's not a clear definition. When does it become what does actually city sponsored mean? That's not a clear definition in our code. There's probably some things that are pretty clearly city sponsored, like a parade.
let me be more
Or-
clear. I think the Christmas event, the tree lighting ceremony, and the parade are city sponsored. Those are the only ones that I can think of that we haven't canceled. Our Easter egg hunt was city sponsored, meaning
It's all city
100%
involved.
city.
Yeah.
Right.
When you get
Right.
these private partner relationships like we have with Tony,
Right.
kind of gets gray as
Right.
to is it or is
Right.
it not city sponsored.
I
Right.
mean, if we issue a permit, we're basically city-sponsored, right? We're
No,
we're city-backed,
say
how's
no.
that? We've backed up that person, we gave them
No.
a permit.
I
No.
would say back.
You haven't given a
No,
permit?
not at all. That's
I
not
give a
true.
permit to somebody to change a water heater, I didn't sponsor that water
Right.
heater, I just issued a permit.
Correct.
And we don't have anything, when somebody comes in and says, I want a permit for something, what in our code or rules says we can deny it?
Good
So
question.
so we don't say that we're denying all permits because of the situation of this virus. So they comply, they meet all the requirements.
So what is Daytona taking a vote for then, if they don't have much?
They must be,
They
be
must
taking
have a
vote to say,
mechanism.
we're not going to issue.
They're not going to issue
any
permits.
Right, and I'll tell you this right now too. We talk about our city image, and if they deny these businesses who are hurting so bad, they are going to have these businesses come out in droves with pitchforks. And how can you do this to us when they're already going to come anyways? You're not going to stop the people from coming in, and we are known as the business-friendly city, and we're going to allow our businesses the tool and mechanism to be able to safely and in their own way be able to go about that event. So that,
I think we should issue special event
I
permit.
mean, really,
Great.
who do we have I mean, the only special events are the ones coming in from out of state or out of town to set
No,
up.
no, several of the places have the bike washers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
and it brings people in.
And we have different types of special events. You're talking about, some of these are all done on private property, but they're not, somebody could have a grand opening, a special store event sale, pumpkin sales, Christmas tree sales. These are all different types of events in our city. Some require permits, some don't. So it's just not a clear line of, we issue permits, that's clear on certain things, and certain things are exempt. But what's city sponsored, you got kind of 3 avenues. You got one where it's on private property exclusively, public property but fully paid for by private people, public property, joint partnership, and then you go all the way to the end, it's all city involved. So anywhere in that spectrum,
Four.
So you really got 4. Yeah.
And just in respect to time, we are kind of talking over and over and over. It seems there is a consensus. You have something to
Yeah,
add?
I'm just going to say one thing that I think we should continue to issue all special event permits as requested. And the only ones we should have any control over are the truly sponsored ones, the parade, tree lighting, Easter egg hunt, those type of things. If we flash back 6 months ago, we were supposed to have an art show in the spring here.
Right.
We had issued the permits, vendors were coming. The sponsor pulled that. We didn't pull their permit. So I think we should proceed with that, and then we should only talk about here and forever those 3 main events that we do
Our
in our
events.
city.
Yeah.
Let staff proceed as they would, issuing regular permits. It's up to the master vendor or the sponsor of the event to proceed or not proceed based on.
I agree. Great. And we have consensus. We don't need a motion because we're just going to continue what we already are supposed to
Just for
do.
my benefit, so we're going to permit the car show, we're going to allow permits for Biketoberfest, We're going to allow the Art Festival in April of 2021, the Chamber's breakfast on October 21st at Seca Hall. They have an after hours that's going to be at Copper Bottom at the end of this month, but that's completely separate. And then we're going to move forward at this time with the lighting ceremony and parade.
And I think some of the commissioners may want to revisit that. What I would look at for the parade, because I know your hesitation, both of you, is I would like to look at the idea of the reverse Christmas parade. And I would ask that you would just both consider it, and even if not tonight, but to have that in consideration. And to your point, I understand you may not want, kids close together like that, but they are back in school now too.
That's true.
And a lot of them are. And so, for those reasons and the ones I stated before,
I'll
due to
keep
time.
an open mind.
Okay. Yes.
Did you say Port Orange? Who's doing that? Port Orange, South Daytona?
South Daytona, yeah.
So
And a few other cities are jumping on board
let's
now.
not reinvent the wheel. Let's call them who are
Right.
doing it, steal it from them, and see if it works in our city. We can.
It's
proceed.
got to be
That's right.
geographically possible too.
I mean, you could put
Yeah, I mean,
10 different vendors or whatever you want to call them on the MacArthur Circle right here.
Yeah.
Then you drive up to
Yeah.
Sunrise Park and you go through that park and
Right.
you could make it happen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were talking about just keeping it on Ridgewood, so it's people are used to parade.
I don't know about that, because we'd have to shut down.
You could do it all the way down
Ridgewood.
Riverside Drive if you wanted to.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Have a scenic drive down Riverside Drive. They're all on the riverside
the grass.
dancing and whatever.
So what I suggest we do is we all brainstorm a little bit. We get back together in 13 days from now, talk to Mr. Forte about any of your ideas, and then we can bring this up for discussion at the next meeting. Is that what you would recommend, Mr. Forte?
Yeah, my mind's kind of spinning with this drive-by parade. I'm a detail person, and I don't see how that works. And I'm thinking of the kids, and all right, the marching band marches down the street and they play one or two songs in front of the grandstand.
No, they don't.
Are they going to
They
be in
don't move.
Ross Point and play for an hour? I don't know.
I don't know if it would be an hour.
How long is the parade?
They play all the way down when they're marching in the parade.
How long is the drive-by parade? What do the Girl Scouts do, and the Cub Scouts, and the Karate Kids, and the Arrow Wrecker and Daytona Wrecker? What do? They
Just park.
And
Yeah,
you see
park.
a tow truck in the street all the time.
Well, maybe we could talk to South Daytona on what they're doing in
Oh, I'm gonna.
couple of the other
Definitely.
cities, and I would think, Joe, that a lot of the Christmas parade as well is for businesses to have their names out there as well. So they'll decorate a float, or of some sort, put it out there.
Hey,
Yeah.
crazy. Scott, what's the resolution on our sign out there? Could you project like a picture of me on there?
Yeah, you could do video stuff.
So what if you have all the bands send in a YouTube clip of themselves and we just put it on the rolling sign out there for a week?
That's an idea.
Well, and when we talk about the Christmas tree ceremony, I would like to maybe do a digital one if we can't have people there, but the commission could be there, and we'll light all the lights, and we'll do a Facebook Live and put it out there that way.
McEwen family.
Yeah, we'll get the McEwen family. They can sing,
There's a bunch of them, and they
some songs, and
yeah, I mean,
it's not as big as what we'll normally do, but heck, it may even get more views than what we get here. So, and that would go a long way too to make sure that Holly Hill still is promoting that Christmas spirit.
Everyone but the mayor.
All right, I don't see any objection to that, Joe. So, before we talk ourselves into another circle, are you
Okay.
good with direction on that?
Yeah, so far.
Clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
Did you have anything else for us?
Yeah, I still have
Okay.
a couple things. I sent everybody an email. We've got the Veterans Museum that is going to be relocating to the DMV on 8th Street. They'll be there by January 1st. They're moving from their other location. If you don't have a chance to go by and see what they've got, I was floored by the amount of memorabilia and artifacts that they have representing all these wars. It's just, it was breathtaking to see everything that's in there. It's really amazing. I wanted to introduce Kevin Fall, the Economic Development CRA Manager, but he just left, so I don't have a chance to do that. Give you an update on the 8th and Ridgewood easement issue. I made a small offer to purchase the area of the easements where the structures are. That was denied. With Scott's advice, we're going through the process of, I'm now getting a survey done of the exact locations where these are. We'll go in and we'll file for taking of those easements where we actually pay for them. And if there's an objection, it ends up going through court, and the outcome of whatever the decision the court makes then becomes our responsibility. So, for example, if we offer to buy these easement areas for $5,000, the moment we make that payment to the clerk, or however we file that, we take title to it. Then if it gets challenged, whatever the judge or the jury decides the actual cost of that is, would be the responsibility of the city. So that's the direction that we're going in right now. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, Scott, if you could bring up Google Earth for me real quick. With regard to the Pictona tournament coming up in October, they want to be able to allow RVs to park. And we talked a little bit about this at the last meeting. In general terms of allowing RVs as a permissible zoning use. What they're asking to do is along the, if you'll just move that screen up just a little bit, Scott, along the road there, up against Field 4, and then coming down the bottom of the screen toward 10th Street, they want to be able to sell premium RV, self-contained RV parking spaces there, meaning that these RVs will not have water or electric or sewer hookups. They'll have to be completely self-contained, and they want to be able to sell those as premium spots. Additionally, they'd like to use Sika Hall, and if you're open to it, the back of City Hall for RV parking for this event, because they think they're going to get quite a few people coming in here with their RVs that are self-contained. I'm a little concerned about it. I've talked to John. He's an RVer. He's no longer a pop-up guy. He's an RVer. And my vision were people coming outside their RVs with charcoal briquettes, having hamburgers, then dumping the briquettes on the ground. He says, no, this group of people, generally they bring a gas barbecue. They cook on it. We'll have enough trash receptacles out there to do it. And even if I have to call in the street sweeper to come in first thing Monday morning, 5 a.m. to sweep City Hall parking lot and Sika Hall parking lot, you know, this is the first time we're going to have a tournament in the Holly Hill, and we need, in the city of Holly Hill, and we need to put our best foot forward. We need to make it memorable so that people will come back again. And right now, the international, it's called the Bainbridge Tournament. It's an international pickleball tournament where it's generally been considered the U.S. against Europe, and next year they're thinking about calling it the world against the U.S. and hosting it here. It's enormous. This would absolutely put us way on the map. So they're speaking to the international, and the International Association wants to host this international tournament. People coming from other countries here to the United States to Holly Hill to play in this tournament. So we know if we did do this RV thing, it would be a little bit of a risk not knowing what's going to happen. Haven't done it before, don't know if it is good, bad. It's a learning experience, and from this we learn what we could or couldn't do the next time that an event comes up. And that's even leading to other conversations of people wanting to look to develop an RV park within the city limits on something like Bishop's Farm, where you have, you know, not what Robin's talking about with 10 or 12 RVs. We're talking about 100, 150 RVs, and it becomes a regular RV park that people would come and visit every week all year long. So the idea is starting to grow if, you know, we get the right entrepreneur in here that's looking for something like that, and we could make it happen. So on the table right now is your decision if we should allow parking of RVs that weekend. At Sika Hall, it could be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At City Hall, it would only be Saturday and Sunday, and they would be able to park the RVs at by Field 4 and that road. But if we're going to allow that, I would then say we would probably then want to allow Robin to do the very same thing, not 50 feet from that very spot. So they're thinking there's going to be a lot of these RVs, and I'm kind of picturing a little bit like you see the races and the RVs that come into town, and
Right.
and it's kind of exciting.
They're not the pop-ups, Joe.
They're not pop-up,
Yeah,
they're not
and-
pop-up people.
And they have full
You go to the
kitchens, so they
woods.
don't need the briquettes.
Some of them have the chefs with them.
So I want to throw it out there and get your direction if it's something that we should go ahead and promote. In fact, I've talked to Chris Silcock from the YMCA, and we're going to offer the people who are coming here a one-day or a weekend pass that they would pay for to go to the YMCA, where they could work out or use the pool. And, you know, they kind of want to grow this thing into a bigger event. You know, like I said, this is 420 people coming from out of the area to take a look at Holly Hill, and we want to make sure we look good.
Yeah, I think it's good for us to go all the way with this and give this a try. We will learn from this. We will learn the good, the bad, the ugly, and there's going to be a lot more tournaments that are going to be bigger, and this will be a good, I think, a good thing. So unless anyone has anything more to add to that, or there's an objection, then it looks like we have consensus to let them charge forward with everything, the full extent of what you said.
Okay, I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you very much. The only thing I have tonight is to let you all know or remind you that at the American Legion on September 11th, they are having an event to honor fallen victims of September 11th, and that starts at 7 p.m. at the Legion, and I will be there. They did ask me to say a few words. You all are invited and welcome, as well as the public. So that's all I have tonight, and tonight we're going to start with Mr. Penny.
I'm out of town this Friday, so I won't be able to attend, but thank you. No, I'm
Take it as pop-up.
I saw an email going back and forth, and I think the Volusia League kind of dropped the ball on something here. But I saw, you guys probably saw it too, there was an email from Mariah Rains to Val about polling our commission for, asking us for support as a letter of recommendation or resolution or something to send to the county to make sure that the ECHO is on the ballot. I don't know if
I actually sent it to Val to get it on the September 22nd meeting.
but I didn't know, I mean, it's getting close to the deadline. Can we take action on that tonight? Can I make a motion that I recommend that we support?
Everybody has, I sent the email to everybody
Yeah.
to see it, so I don't know if you've had a chance to review it
I
to,
mean, we talked about it a month ago.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We all
And
supported
everyone was in support of it at that point, so I don't know if we need to take I'm worried if we wait 2 weeks, does it fall on deaf ears? Do we miss a deadline with the county?
Absentees go out the 24th, so we are in a time.
Yeah, so I don't
then
know.
I would suggest that you make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign that resolution on behalf of the city commission.
I will make that motion.
I will second that
We have
motion.
a motion and a second on the floor. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this motion? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously.
I should have said this during comments. It's just amazing if you look around at some of the best public amenities that we have in this county. They're made possible by ECHO. Look across the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
Park.
it's amazing. You know, we went and rented kayaks at Riverwalk in Port Orange this weekend. ECHO, you know, I hope it passes. I hope it gets on the ballot and I hope it passes. So that's all I have. Just hope Commissioner Johnson, safe, quick recovery.
Well said. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Penny?
Thank you.
Curry.
And you've done that a couple
I
times.
know, it's
I
hard.
did it at least 3 times.
I
I
get
just,
2 cents from both of you.
I just would like to say, my prayers and well wishes continue for Commissioner Johnson, and appreciate everybody that came out tonight, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Curry.
Write this one down on the calendar. I think I had one other time.
And you waited for the floor tonight, too. It was nice.
Yeah, my wish is.
They finally got the
Commissioner
prescription
Johnson,
right.
yeah. Tony, I hope it didn't drive you crazy, Tony, but Thanks for coming and thanks for being involved in our city.
Thank you.
No, nothing new on this end either, so.
All right. Any further business, Mr.
I
Forte?
had no comment, just.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight would have been the night too.
Yeah, right.
All right. Is there any further business? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. 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 This meeting is adjourned.